Welcome to the FYE Talks podcast for our episode, Figuring It Out, Financial Aid Tips and Tricks, Part 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FYE Talks. I'm your host, Trinity Bradley, and I have three special guests here today. But first, I have Ms. Shantae Sharber and Jeremy Johnson. Can you all tell me a little bit about yourself and what your position is here at this college?
Sure. Well, I'll go first. My name is Shantae Sharber, and I am the Ready to Work coordinator here at ECTC. A little bit about myself, I guess. I've been at this college for 5 years. I started my educational journey as an employee at JCTC. So I've got 10 years in this KCTCS game.
All right.
I'm Jeremy Johnson. I'm the director of the Educational Opportunity Center and the Student Support Services Program. I've been here 5 years, so July was my 5th year anniversary. Prior to here, I was at the University of Louisville, where I worked at the Student Support Services Program there. I got my master's degree from Louisville, but I'm a UK fan.
Sorry.
She's a Blue Devil fan.
Absolutely. Duke all day, U of L, go cards.
But yeah, I coach soccer at Hart County, and so that's kind of I come to work, got another job, and I also teach 3 FYE classes this semester, so tons of time.
Wait a minute, let me piggyback on that since he just read down his whole resume. I didn't know we were doing that.
It is 4 pages.
It literally is 4 pages. I've seen it. I too teach FYE 105. I have been teaching FYE since 2013. I really enjoy teaching. I also am an adjunct here for human services, master's degree in social work. So yeah, since Jeremy's running off all his stuff.
All right. So you all told me about your program. So can you tell me what is your program and like anything you all offer your students? So whoever wants to go first.
I'll start this time. And so EOC and SSS are trio programs. So we're college access and college success. So with the Educational Opportunity Center, we're here to help you get your college application done. Make sure you do your FAFSA, and it's FAFSA, not FAFSA or FAFSA, FAFSA, because that's important. That's where we get our money from, hopefully our free money. And then we help you schedule your classes. To go along with that, like if you're not really sure what you want to do, maybe you haven't decided, I have 2 counselors that work for me that can really sit down and talk you through some weird things that you might like. If you need to get your GED because you get past school, I mean, we always need to get our life in order, and so we can look at that process and kind of talk you through it. We provide some vouchers to help offset the costs of taking the GED. And so we provide half, so that's $60, which I'll take $60. And then with Student Support Services, we're kind of like the house where EOC's front door, you get all your stuff in the house. So if you need tutoring, if you need help again, maybe you didn't select your major, you want to change your major. We also help with financial aid applications there because we have to renew it every year. And so also transfer. If you know you're going to go to a 4-year school and get your bachelor's degree, but you're like, I really don't know how to do that. I'm not sure what I want. I know I'm going to get an associate arts degree, but I'm not sure what path I'm going to go through. We have a counselor that can really walk you through and plan. Because college, it's all about stuff. That's how I would agree. Is that having some goals and making sure that we write them down, put them on a vision board, put them on our wall, put them on our phone, so that we can continually see those goals, so we can get them. And so both programs are pretty much stop shops. And so you have to apply for SSS because you have to go first generation, low income, or have a disability, not all 3, just one. Whereas with EOC, we can help you. We're there.
All right, Shantae, what's your program?
So my program is called Ready to Work. And I know that can be confusing since there are a lot of work programs that have the name work in it. So Ready to Work is a grant-funded program that is for parents who are receiving public assistance, specifically KTAP. KTAP stands for Kentucky Transitional Assistance Program, and so you do have to be a parent. You do have to have custody of your children or child, and have a financial need, and be utilizing services from the state, DCBS, which is the Department of Community-Based Services. Everything that Jeremy's program does, we do. Well, I do because I am a one-woman show, superwoman on my chest. We do the very same things. Access to education, walking you through the goal setting process of what do you want to do, why do you want to come here, A few differences is because I am a grant, so I have a very specific population that I can assist. But at the same time, we do all the very same things. The other thing that Ready to Work does is provide work opportunities for students, whether that's on campus or off campus, to help them kind of reacclimate themselves back into the workforce, or get them a little bit exposure, like an internship if they want to go into social work. So maybe putting them in a position where they're working at CommuniCare. I was about to say 7 counties, that's Louisville. If they're working at CommuniCare, or if they want to get into IT, maybe trying to help them find a office space where they can do those kind of skills. It is of no cost to the employer, because they are ECTC student employees or part-time employees. So trying to think, there's another difference between what we do. And a lot of times, I can't think of what it is right now, but a lot of times we'll refer back and forth. So I know with Stacy is one of his counselors. Stacy and I work really well together because she'll have somebody that she's met at one of the GED centers or Skills U, and she's like, hey, they're receiving KTAP and they're interested in college. And she might work with them on the very front end to get their financial aid stuff in order, register for classes. But then I come in with the case management piece, making sure that they're going to class, making sure that they know how to set up their My Path, and that they understand, the expectations if they are a working student, that it's school first, and then, employment second, and helping them keep that balance of, time management. Because for some students and some parents, they're coming back to school and it's all new to them. And so they really just don't know how to navigate the college experience. So I think that is one of the most valuable pieces to both of our programs, is that it's very personal. We go to our students a lot of the time. So we all travel. We cover the same amount of counties, 10 counties, give or take. And we can come to them versus always having students come to our office, because our, reach is so broad. There's transportation issues. They can't always come to us here on campus. So, we're very flexible in that regard.
I feel like this whole hallway is like a referral hall, because if you come in here and you're like, I need help with this, we're like, well, right down the hall, we've got this person.
Right.
We all are like, well, my friend across the hall, she does this.
Yeah.
It's just always like going back and forth with each other.
And it is a continuum from EOC to SSS and other programs. Because more than likely, they'll see their SSS generally.
Right.
Yeah.
But another thing on the transportation thing, that's a barrier.
Absolutely.
If you live in counties in our far east, southeastern counties, maybe I can't go to school, I don't know. But I think for our grants, that's one of the things we try to alleviate those burdens. Like we've met people in McDonald's parking lot.
Absolutely. Free Wi-Fi.
Free Wi-Fi. Over sweet tea, because McDonald's sweet tea is fire.
Bring back high C orange, please. McDonald's.
So I think the biggest thing, financial aid is a burden, which is what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think we also have to realize that that's not the only one. And so I think asking pertinent questions about, I really want to go to college, but I don't know. And it's okay not to know.
Absolutely.
That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
So I think you all already have covered like how you qualify and apply, which I'm sure if you just apply, you won't just walk in your office and you're like, I need this help. Here, let me help you.
Yeah, but there's some forms that we have.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Department of Education grant, so we're federal grant, both programs. So there is a process.
Absolutely.
But it's not difficult. We just want to ask questions. With SSS, like, it needs to be a fit. So, like, if you're not really going to get anything out of the program, what's the point?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're there to help you along the way, to help improve your college experience, and also get you to where you want to go. If you got everything together, right, we can still be in your back pocket.
Right.
But you really need to have some type of need.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people here do.
So, and also, why should the student seek out your program? But you kind of also address that too.
Because we're great.
Right.
Yeah.
We're
All
fabulous
those
people.
programs in this hall are-
Absolutely. Fabulous people.
So, is there anything particular you want to address students about your program, or?
Well, I can start on that one, and I know our third person will be coming on later, and she's going to speak to it. So, Ready to Work is not work ready, and I know we've got. I understand the name difference, and ready to work and work ready is not work study. There's a lot of programs with the word
work study.
with the work in it.
Yeah.
And without explaining too much, because I know we're going to have someone else join us that will talk specifically about work ready. But ready to work is a case management, wraparound services, kind of one-stop shop for a specific population of people.
Yeah.
Work ready is a scholarship for KCTCS students and even some four-year universities. That you have, it's industry specific. You have to meet certain criteria. Like I said, I don't want to speak too much on it, but it's very specific. And then federal work study is a program that you qualify for through completing your FAFSA. And FAFSA, blah, blah, blah.
This is why.
Your federal financial aid form for free money. Goodness. But that's how you qualify for work study. And that is something that is not only offered at the community college level, but also at the 4 years. So they're all dealing with the word work, but they're not the same.
Yeah.
So that is one big issue.
With POC, sorry. The big thing is that we serve students who want to go anywhere.
Yes.
So say you walk up and like, I don't want to go here, I want to go to UK. I'm like, great. Let's get that done. And so it might be a little uncomfortable coming on another college campus. I don't want to go here. I'll go somewhere else. Our job is to get you higher education.
Yeah.
To get your degree and do what you need to do. So we realized that. Now we will talk to you about, hey, if you thought about the affordability of starting and transferring your transfer scholarships and things like that. If you're going to have a high enough GPA. But also looking at the costs. Like, do I want to pay a fourth of the cost and save money? Maybe. It's generally, ECTC offers a great education.
Absolutely.
Because the classes that you're taking, you're going to have like 30 people in class here, whereas if you go to a larger institution, you might have 100 people or more in your class.
See, I transferred here from Western, and I was studying chemistry at Western, but then I was like, I'm going to do nursing. ECTC is $40,000 cheaper than WKU's nursing program. And I was in a biology class that was 150 people in an auditorium. You don't learn good like that because you can't really ask questions unless you go to their office hours. But here, you can raise your hand in class and have plenty of time to address it.
Right. And so with SSS, we serve 185 students. So there is a little more rigidity to that. And so it's important that if you have an interest in being an SSS, you need help that you apply early. Because if you do feel like we have a waiting list and things like that. And so the big thing is as soon as you start, especially if you're a freshman or your first year or coming back after a break, and you do well, life happened. Use your resources to your advantage. Even if you barely SSS, it's good to have that spot because you never know. You be a math one fee and you have the X's and the F of X's, you have X's in there on you, and you're like, I don't know what that's.
Right.
And then you go see me.
Right. Since you're in FYE.
Yes.
Or excuse me. The Went Center.
I'm curious about the Went Center. Got you.
And so.
Anatomy.
All right.
And so it's important that we utilize those resources.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now I think it's time that we address the topic that every student, faculty, and staff love. We're going to talk about financial aid.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. So I kind of pulled some of these questions from reading the KCTCSF student feed because some of the students were like, oh my gosh, what is the package? What are these numbers? Like someone will post like -3,000. What is this? And I'm like, you want to give me the rational number? It's like, it's a pretty hefty refund you're getting. So I guess the first question I could ask is, what is the difference between a loan, a scholarship, and a grant? So I'm just going to let either one of you all just chime in, answer your.
So generally, with the grant, you're not going to pay that back. And so you have to complete your FAFSA to get that. It's the federal level. And once you complete that, you can be eligible for a Pell Grant, which I think the new amount is up to $6,745.
What?
I think it's one up. And so that's split over 2 semesters. So if you receive that, that's great. And that should pretty much offset the cost of tuition in college.
It should.
Which is great. If you are eligible for the Pell Grant, then you also are eligible for the CAP Grant, which is state money. State money runs out. And so that's why it's important to complete your FAFSA in October.
Yes.
If you do it in December, you're probably still good, but just get it done in October. And see if you help. The caveat to that is if you don't finish your classes after receiving the grant, there could be a possibility that you can have to pay that money back. And so it's always important before you decide to drop a class, either go to an advisor or go to financial aid and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Is this okay? Well, I have to pay it back. Make sure you write down what day you were there, what time you were there, and then you talk to them because you always want notes. Loans. You apply for those as well through financial aid to get federal loans. I suggest I like federal loans just because it's a little cleaner and Congress. With the interest rates, they control that. Whereas if you take a loan out maybe through your bank or from one of the lenders in the community, those interest rates are generally, and I'm making a generalization, are a little higher than what the Fed set. And so there's that, and you have to pay those back. Depending on what type of loan you have, it could be interest. And so if we take out $1,200, we're probably paying back $1,400, $1,500. That's another thing. I took out a lot of loans. I'll talk about that later. Just because I had to. And then I think if you go below half-time, then you can't get a loan. So you need to maintain at least 6 credits to get those loans. And scholarships, scholarships you really have to apply for separately. So like there's the Kentucky Community Foundation that you can apply for. There are also ECTC scholarships you can apply for. And it really just depends on the person who kind of owns that scholarship and what their regulations. Generally, you don't have to pay scholarships back. I've never heard of it, but again, if the person who's giving the scholarship had that caveat in there, make sure you read all of the fine print if you're applying for scholarships.
Is Keys money considered a scholarship, or is that like a state grant?
Good question. It is more of a grant. You can lose your Keys money
because it does expire.
I lost mine because Jeremy had a sophomore slump where I fell below a cumulative 2.5 GPA in college. It happens, you know. Life happens. You change your major. Didn't get it back 8. So it's important that when we talk about resources, that you can lose your Keys money, you can lose eligibility for financial aid. And so Keys again is your ACT score in high school, your GPA. And so most people should have a little bit of Keys money. The important thing is Keys money is usually not applied here anyway to your account until like September. But the important thing is to always check and ask. Because there have been times where once you graduated, you come to college, your high school forgets to send it to Frankfurt. So your Keys money is just sitting out there and it's not applied to your account. So in order to get that corrected, you need to contact your high school to make sure they send that you graduated to Frankfurt, and then Frankfurt will submit that information to the college.
And Keys money does not come out the same time as your other refund. The Keys money refunds afterwards. Because I see that all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, I refund, but where's my Keys money?
Right.
And I'm like,
I'll piggyback a little bit on Keys because so the Kentucky fiscal agent is KHEAA, KHEAA.com. They're not .edu. Yes, .com. So you can sign up for their website and you can access your Keys money. That's also where you would complete your Work Ready scholarship information too. But again, Amy will talk about that. We were talking about loans. And one of the things to really be aware of is that they will offer you loans. You do not have to take loans if you do not need them, because loans you have to pay back. That is regardless. Loans do not go away. You can die, and guess what? Somebody wants your money, but no. But seriously, Sally Mae and all her girls do not play when they want their money. There is a difference between subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. If you must take a loan, take a subsidized loan. What that means is that the money that you borrowed, the $1,200 that you borrowed, you will not pay interest on that loan until you have separated from the college. Separated means graduated, or separated means dropped out. And then once you do that, you got 6 months, and then they're coming for you. Be like, hey, remember that money you borrowed? Run it back. We want it back.
So they want you to pay back the full amount after you graduate, or will they put interest on it?
Yeah, so the interest will be applied at that point. So it will remain, as long as you're a student, the $1,200 that you borrowed fall 2020 will remain that same $1,200 that you borrowed until you've left college, graduated, or just quit, or sat out, however you want to word it. And then the interest starts, and then that promissory note that you sign, promissory means promise to pay. Yeah. And for lack of better words, So they will. You are signing that you understand that this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm taking out, this is how much I'm going to owe when I'm done. And they will be reaching out. So do not ignore when they call. Don't be like some of us. Do not ignore them. They will find you. You don't want to get to the point where they garnish your wages.
They gonna come get you. They gonna get your check.
Oh yeah. They coming for you. Unsubsidized loans, meaning day one, you take out that $1,200. Probably by the end of the week, you owe $1,205, depending on your interest rate, in the way that it accumulates. And we always just strongly suggest, because they offer it to you, you don't have to take it. We understand life happens. We've all taken out loans to finance our degrees, but just be smart about what you do with your school money. There was another point.
Well, I know people are definitely afraid of loans, and I don't think you should. I mean, you need to invest in yourself.
Absolutely.
So if you're killing yourself working 2 or 3 jobs, while also trying to manage your family, and also schoolwork, I mean, a couple $1,000 loan, that's going to be a manageable payment.
Sure.
But if you do that every year for 6 years, once you get your bachelor's, then it's going to climb. And so it's also important to understand your payment options. There are multiple ones out there. So if you don't have a job, you can also apply for forbearance and other things. It is so important to maintain contact with your lender. And so I think there's Lakes, Sally Mae, mine's Navient. And so if I ever had an issue where if the coronavirus had affected me, fortunately it didn't, then I would call Navient and say, hey, I can't make my payment. What can we do? And then they would give me more options, and they get it. Obviously, they still want money, but they'll give you a couple months. And you just got to maintain contact. Like, hey, still job, still can't go back to work. What can we do? And so communication in all aspects of life, especially
is key.
Is key.
Absolutely.
It also talks about credit too. If you don't pay your loans, your credit goes.
Yes.
So pay your bills on time, or your credit score will be. So I guess we kind of address this with how do you apply for financial aid? What do you even do?
So October 1. That's when it starts for the next school year. So October 2020, you're applying for financial aid for August 2021. So you'll need, if you're a dependent student, you'll need your taxes and your parents' taxes. Then you'll log into FAFSA.edu.gov. If you haven't logged in before, you need to create a federal student ID, and those directions are on there. Not only for yourself, if you're a dependent student, but also a parent will need an SSID. And the important thing here to realize is that some people don't want to give their information because they're going to steal it.
But they won't.
Listen to this. They already have it. They gave it to you. It's on a card. They're just verifying who you are. So they already have your social. They already have your address. You're not giving them anything that they don't already have access to. Right. They know. So unfortunately, for some students, their parents will release it. So they're stuck with just loans, and you have to go through a process to get that. And people are different. Life's different from some people. I kind of get it, I kind of don't. But it's important that you have the conversation with your parents if you can say, hey, I could get free money if I do this, but we don't know unless I do it.
Yeah.
So you'll log in there, you'll put in some of your personal identifiable information, name, address, all that stuff. The big thing is that you have to verify your account. Because if you don't verify your account, then you're going to do it over again. You're going to sign stuff. So once your FSA ID is created, mom and dad or grandma, aunt, uncle, your guardian has done that, you can log in. You're going to use 2-year-old tax information. So we're using 2018 right now. We did that just because back in the day, you couldn't do your FAFSA in January. And so then you still have to wait until your taxes.
Right.
And so then you're just waiting, what happens, we'll wait for us to just do it. And so this way, you already have access to that prior year tax information so that you can go ahead and start your FAFSA to see where we are. And you can always, if you make a mistake, we're all fallible, it happens.
Yeah.
Just go back and correct it and just get that in there. And then once you hit the submit button with all the signatures, it'll be submitted, it'll process, and then if there are any issues, the feds will let you know. And then you'll get one that says the process is to the institution that you listed on your FAFSA. On your FAFSA, you can list up to 10 institutions. I would go ahead and put all 10, fill them, because you never know. I think Alexis, who works here at FYE, she was going to go to Western, and she got down there, she's like, okay, it's going to work. She came on the ETC, like a day or two, and she was set. And so it's important that we have options. I like options. And so, I would put a community college, I would put four-year schools, I would put private schools, just so you know kind of what you're going to get. And then as soon as you complete the FAFSA, they should send you an email that has your eligibility, because we're always asking, like, hey, I don't know what I got. And so they usually tell you if you're eligible for the Pell Grant, if you're eligible for loans. So make sure that before you close out of there, print that off, just create a FAFSA file, just so you know where you are. Also, a big pointer is write down your FSA ID and your password and save it like in 14 spots.
Yeah. And the email address that you signed up with it.
If you have a phone number, you use your notes.
Right. Because with EOC, the biggest thing that we have, especially for people that are coming back or adult students who have children who are college age, they're like, oh, I never did that. Well, you have two kids in college, you had to have one. And so, if you can't get logged back in or you can't figure it out, then you're going to have to call Washington, D.C., and they're going to talk with them, and they're going to have to help you get through that and unlock your account.
Yeah.
Which is the process.
So another question that I know some people have about FAFSA, like I see the students post, they're like, what is EFC? What is this number that they're sending me? So I know what an EFC of 0 means.
Right. We like EFC.
0. Yes.
And so the higher estimated family contribution. So that's what the federal government believes that your family unit can contribute to your education finances and pay for it. Is that how you see that?
Yes.
And so the lower the better. How low can you go? 0 is great.
Yes.
And so there is some type of formula for that. But if you're unsure, I would talk with your financial aid department and say, hey, what do you think? But generally, if you have any high EFC, you're probably going to know. But some people are shocked. Like my family's medium board, so they don't get full help, but we get a little bit. And so anything is better than nothing. And so even if you're only eligible for minimum help, which is $600, $630, you're still eligible for the full cap.
Right.
So even if you only get $600 plus the $1,000, that's $1,600. Still a pretty penny.
Yeah.
And then you have to minimize your loans, or if you have been saving, or if you can do a payment plan.
Right.
I mean, that helps offset the cost.
Okay, so I think my next question is going to be, what are the deadlines? So I would say sooner the better. I mean,
some states do have hard firm deadlines. Kentucky really doesn't. Obviously, you want to apply before the end of the semester if they can't go back.
October 1st.
Right. Even so, the FAFSA runs from August through the summer. And so even if you're starting college, if you started college in August, then you didn't do your FAFSA until January, I have seen where a college has gone back and posted a Pell Grant for that previous semester. But again, that's communication. You talk with the financial aid department and say, hey, I forgot to do it, or I didn't do it, or something happened, just to see if there's a way that you can go back and get that money. And especially if you're military or military connected, more than likely you're probably going to use the benefits. Go ahead and get the benefits, but go ahead and do that FAFSA. Because if your school is paid for by your benefits, then that FAFSA money is going to go straight to your pocket.
Right.
To use for educational expenses. That's another question. What are educational expenses? Is driving to school an educational expense?
If I gotta drive, I gotta put gas in my car. Absolutely.
Right. What if my tire pops on the way to school?
Same thing.
Computer. If you're
Internet.
taking online classes, even if you're not taking online classes, most classes will have some type of online assignment that you have to do.
School supplies.
School supplies. Do you need a house to sleep in? Rent is an educational expense. How am I going to be a good student and not have a place to live? Am I living on the street? So it's important.
Food, though.
Well, you gotta eat. You need nourishment.
Dude, whenever I filed my taxes, he was just like basic stuff you bought. I could really cut down taxes.
Yeah. We talk about how you can use your residual, not filing it on your taxes.
Well, he said like you can put that. What's the form called that you take to file taxes from college, like your college expenses?
It's like something T.
1098 T, is that
1099, 1090 something. I should know this, but something like that.
But like
it's on your student self-service account.
Correct.
the 1098T, when you go to file your taxes, it'll be like, this is how many scholarships you got, this is how much you actually spent. So like, if you write a check out in your pocket to go pay for books, it'll be like, you spent this much. But then whenever you also file your taxes, they're like, well, how much money did you spend on school? That's not what's here. So you'll be like, well, I bought a brand new car that I drove to school. I mean, it might be like, that's a little bit excessive.
Right.
But
So
And that's where you will refer to your tax preparer for this.
yes. And so that's go to your tax person.
We're talking more, I think, more about residuals and what you should do with that money.
Right.
Because save it, yes, because if again, the program only lasts for 6 years.
Mhm.
They don't have to be consecutive. So if you go 2 years, take a year off, go 2 years, take a year off, take 2, you're good. Because if you can just put your residual or whatever is left over from your program, financial aid, put it in your savings, that's a nest egg. So where if you do go to that 4-year school, if that's what your plan is, you're not having to take out as much loan, if any, because you already have that in your back pocket.
Correct.
And now we break for a program plug.
Hello, ECTC students. My name is Amber Phillips Hubry, and I am the first year experience program facilitator here at the college. Today, I am touching base with you briefly to let you know about all of the tutoring services that are provided through the WIN Center on campus. So as the FYE program facilitator, I coordinate and oversee all of the tutoring services and resources that we provide to students in the WIN Center. The WIN Center is essentially a tutoring center that focuses on helping students in general education courses as well as program-specific courses. And this center is available to all students. So this is not a program that you have to qualify for in any capacity, but rather this center is open and available for all ECTC students, whether you are an on-campus student or you only take classes online. It doesn't make any difference. So we're available, like I said, to all students. We operate Monday through Thursday from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we actually conduct all of our tutoring appointments on campus as well as online. So let's say that you are currently planning to take all of your classes for the fall semester online due to transportation issues. And because of that, with transportation issues, let's say that you have difficulty getting to campus in any capacity. If that was the case and you needed some tutoring in, let's say, your college algebra class, then we can set up tutoring appointments for you virtually where you could meet with a tutor online face-to-face, and that tutor could actually help you with all of your math classes you were seeing.
And it is super important. I mean, I would definitely piggyback on that. Save your residual money if you can. As a scholarship student, when I was in undergrad, I was disgusted at how much money I wasted. Well, how much money the school gave me. Because I had a full scholarship. I had a full academic scholarship to the University of Louisville. Go Cards. And so everything that I received was pocketed because my housing was paid for, my books were paid for, my tuition was paid for. But because of my family circumstance, I got full Pell, cap, keys, well, a little bit of keys, because by the time keys started, I was about to graduate. So not telling my age on that.
Yeah, she's older than me.
As he sips his Gatorade. But so, and book I mentioned I teach FYE. So one of the things that we talk about in FYE is expenses and how to budget and things like that. So I went back and looked at my entire 4-year career in undergrad and calculated how much money in residual I got. And I was disgusted at how much money I wasted and have nothing to show for it. Let's just say I could have totally financed my master's degree had I saved my money. I'm talking about $26,000 over 4 years.
Well, if I would have not went to Western, because when I was in high school, I applied for a bunch of scholarships. That was like one-time scholarships, but it was like $500 scholarship, $2,500 scholarship, first gen, and then another one. But if I would have went to ECTC, I would have got all of my scholarships back because I had CAP, I had fees, I had program, and it was like I could have got all those back. But I was like, no, I'm not going to university experience. So only got like $500 back. But then I came here with my cat grant and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I get all of that.
Yeah, financial literacy is key. You know, that's another thing. Communication, financial literacy are the two keys that you're going to get from us. Probably some more, but right now.
Yeah, another thing to realize is each person's cost of attendance could be different.
Absolutely.
And so just because someone's getting $12,000 doesn't mean you're going to get $12,000.
Yeah.
But I'm equally poor. You don't know everyone's situation. So there could be a point where you cut off. For example, when I was in Louisville, I had a student who had more financial aid in a year than I made in salary a year. And so it's just like if you're really poor, then you can get a lot of money. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, when I was in college, I didn't get full help, but we were poor. And it also went to a small private that costs a little more than your regular public school. And
That makes a
so
difference where you go.
I think it's very specific and different for each individual. And so you can't really compare yourself to the like I can't compare myself to Shantae. Just in terms of our financial backgrounds and things like that. And so it's important just to really focus on yourself and kind of what you can do to mitigate the cost of attending college.
Yeah. Another thing I think we failed to mention when we're talking about dependent students is the age. So that has come up before. Well, I'm 22. I'm 21. I'm not a minor, or I live outside of my parents' home. Why do I still need my parents' information to complete my financial aid forms? Because you are still a dependent according to federal regulations, unless you are a parent, like you have your own kids. And then there's a few other caveats where if you're an emancipated youth or some other thing. So it's very important to know, or you're married. And so it's really important to know kind of the why behind why, as an 18-year-old, you're not going to be eligible for a lot of things because the federal people are looking at your parents' income. Know that it's not your income, but you're still considered under them. And so that does make a difference. But once you hit that magical age of 25, I don't know why 25 is the magical age. 24 now? Okay. So when you hit the age of 24, you are now considered an independent student, meaning your finances is what is going to matter when you do your financial aid information.
Yeah, I think when at least I train my people with EOC is that you really have to ask them personal questions when you're starting out the FAFSA because you don't want to get them misinformation at the beginning. So I'll ask their age. I'm like, are you married? Do you have a kid? Are you in the military? Do you serve active duty? It's not minor. It's like, why are you asking? Well, it helps tell you like if you're one of those things, then you just need your tax information. If you're not, then we might need mom and dad's information for something like that.
Yes.
So definitely when we work with independent students, it's great because then we
just need them.
So what do you say so like in my situation, I moved to Western and then I got my own apartment in Bowling Green because it was like a fiasco beat my mom. So I moved to Western, got my own apartment, and now I rent my own place. So if my parents didn't claim me on their taxes as a dependent, then would I be an independent student on the FAFSA?
No. How old are you? No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam.
There are certain instances. So, say for example, you were a person who's in the LGBT community, and your parents kicked you out.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a situation where you should walk yourself into the financial aid office and say directly to the director, say this is my issue. Can I be an independent student? And he or she has the discretion to kind of make that decision. Of course, there's a process, there's an application. You probably need to get letters from documentation or some documentation that says yes, this person's kicked out, they're living on my couch. I think that's probably called a professional judgment, something of that nature. And so they can go into FAFSA and override some things and then award you financial aid. But again, I'm going to reiterate throughout the whole thing, you have to communicate and be willing to share your story.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you might be missing out on things.
Correct.
So I think my next question is going to be if a student doesn't apply for their financial aid this year, but then they apply for it next year, will that hurt their eligibility for the following year? So like, say I didn't apply last year, and then I want to apply this year, will they be like,
No, they're not dependent on each other. And
Yeah.
so just like if you didn't go to school that year, it was just like the same thing. It's because if you did receive the Pell Grant, that only counts if you're enrolled. And so you take every semester like it's 50%, because we have the phrase is we have 600% Pell. And so every semester generally 50%. So you kind of have so many semesters to get that done. But if you take a year off, you might have to start paying back your loans. And also you have 4 years of youth money, but you have 5 years to use it. I think that's another point to make about.
Yes.
And so if you do take a break, that doesn't stop. Your 5 years starts once you graduate high school.
So another question would be, I know a lot of students, whenever they get an email, they're like, oh, here's your notification, here's your award letter, and then it's like, here's your financial aid package. What do these words mean? So kind of what is an award letter, when will you get it, and like what's the financial aid package?
So an award letter is kind of like your estimate. Hey, this is what we think. A lot of times you'll see estimated keys until that's finalized. Yeah. And a lot of it depends on your enrollment status. And so if you're enrolled in 12 credits in an eligible degree plan, so like if you're in a certificate that's not, I think, 10 credits, then you can't get financial aid. You get full. So you use your full health cap if you're eligible for those, or your full loan. If you're not, then it's prorated. And so if you take 9 credits, that's 3/4 time, then you get 3/4 of the money. And so generally, you'll get like, here's your letter, that's probably an email in a week, and then you'll that first week class they'll finalize your schedule for state, and they'll finalize your financial aid, and then they'll start to put it on your accounts.
So the estimated award letter would be like, it's pretty much like if you were to take full-time credit hours.
This is what we're thinking you're going to get. Because again, it's just dependent on, and that could change again if you drop with the deadline, or drop after the deadline. So again, it's a fluid situation. Generally, it says estimated, they're projecting this is what you're going to get based off of full time.
Okay. So,
and there's not any magical dates per se. It depends on when your package is ready. So if you registered at a certain time, then maybe before someone else, then you would get your award letter maybe earlier than somebody who just applied August 1st versus somebody who applied March 1st, or whatever the case may be. So we don't want students to think that everybody gets the same information at the same time, because that's not how it works. And everybody's situation is different. So just always keep that in mind.
So if a student was looking for other types of scholarships or financial aid, state grant programs, which there's rarely few, because I talked to Alexis and she was like, you usually get grants like if you're doing research, or if like your upper classes, like master's level, you get grants for those. So if a student was looking for other scholarships and stuff, where else could they look to find that?
So Shantae had mentioned TIA, Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority, TIA.com, KHA. They have a long list of scholarships on their website that you can apply for. Also,
and are pertinent to Kentucky.
That are pertinent to Kentucky, correct. Look at your car insurance place to see if they offer scholarships. Any type of insurance company like that you're affiliated with. Also, if you work at McDonald's, they provide assistance.
Tuition reimbursement?
Teresa, I worked at McDonald's for 4 years, like 60 to 20. And so I got benefits from there. Also look at mom and dad's employer. Do they have scholarships? Coca-Cola has scholarships. Burger King has scholarships. So
most restaurants do. Long John Silver's gave me one.
Is there any kind of page on the ECTC website that's like, here's some scholarships, here's where you apply?
ECTC does have specific scholarships. All KCTCS schools have specific scholarships that are pertinent just to them. A few years ago, ECTC partnered with the Kentucky Community Foundation, which Jeremy mentioned. So if you do Google it or search for it, on our website, the information on how to get access to that website is there. But there are specific ECTC scholarships that ECTC offers, depending on your status. I know one that hardly ever gets filled is the Kentucky Colonel Scholarship. That is because you not only have to be a first-time college student, you have to be a first-time full-time college student and a parent and have a child under a specific age. I think it's the age of 12, and also be working at least in a part-time capacity. So those are things that have to be verified. But that's $2,000 a semester.
Oh, wow.
That you can get. And so that is a very specific scholarship for ECTC that a lot of students don't know about. So yeah, it's always good to search your specific college's website for specific scholarships that are pertinent to that school.
Right. I think it's important if you see a scholarship, apply for it. Just go ahead. Unless it's like a female or a parent or something like that. Just because they want to give the money. And so if you meet 75% of the criteria, go ahead and put that bad boy in there. Because they want to give it. And
the money's there.
But if there's no one there, and you're the only one, and you kind of meet the criteria,
you got it.
You probably got it.
Like there was one scholarship whenever I was in high school, and it was like my mom knew the person who was given a scholarship, and she was like, Trinity, she literally told me everyone who applies gets it. It was $500. Only 6 people applied for it because they were like, "Oh, I'm not going to get it," but they were like, "It doesn't matter how much your family makes. Like, just put your name on the paper and we'll give it to you."
Right, you will miss all the shots that you do not make, that you do not attempt. That's how it goes.
They miss all their shots.
We do not. Excuse me.
Okay, whatever.
What
I
a
think
corrupt arena.
you also need to look at the fine print as well, because some of the scholarships that I applied for, I had to do an interview. And I was in front of a panel, and they shot off, "Well, who won the Kentucky Derby last week?" I watched.
Secretariat.
Who is Mitch McConnell's wife, and what department does she run? And so it's important to look at those things.
They're like, "We need a 10-page essay on your life." And you're like,
Some could do that if they want.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that you have one set scholarship essay, and then build off of that. So like we should never have to start an essay from scratch. So have every essay you write, save it, because you can plug and play.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, this happened here, and just make sure we have some transitions.
Right.
Words in there to make it
Please
flow.
proofread it.
Utilize SSS for your program, which is there, and LAM so they can help us with
Yeah,
scholarships.
Ready to Work helps as well.
And tutor at the One Center who's really good writing stuff.
So again, utilize your resources.
Yes, please,
So
please.
how can someone increase their chance of winning a scholarship?
Have somebody proofread your stuff.
Prayer.
Making sure you complete everything. So if it says sign and print your name in pen and ink, sign and print your name in a pen and ink, meaning not electronic. They want a real signature. Make sure you complete all of the boxes, because the easiest way to disqualify something is just check to see if the forms were filled out right or the information that was asked was submitted. We're not going to read partial information. That is the very least thing you can do. Have somebody read over your letters just for grammatical, because some people will use anything to disqualify you, especially if it is a scholarship where hundreds of people are applying. I have sat on scholarship panels where I've reviewed 100 scholarships. For 10, they will be giving out 10 of those scholarships, but hundreds. And the best way to do that, weed them out. I'm not gonna even read it. Oh, you didn't write this. I asked for your GPA. It's blank. Out of here. So yes.
Just make sure you fill every single thing out.
Read the rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and Shante sit on there. We read some scholarships for the Central Kentucky Foundation.
Yes.
And it'll say, "Do not include your name." Like, "Oh,
Hi,
Jeremy
my
Johnson
name- yes.
applied for the scholarship." Well, Jeremy Johnson, you're not getting it.
Correct.
So also with your letters of recommendation, make sure that you're using people who know you. Because if I get a generic letter of recommendation, I'm not getting your points. Because usually there's a rubric.
They work with students.
Yes, they went to class.
They were cool. Never slept. Yep.
They were tardy 4 times. Okay, I don't even know that. So you really need to make sure and give your recommenders time. Like you can't do it like 2 days before, because you're going to get pretty shoddy letter of recommendation. And for me, letters of recommendation need more than just objective numbers. Like you can have a 4.0 that has no social skill and not do anything.
Right.
Whereas like I would much rather give a scholarship to someone who might have a 3.5 GPA but it holds leadership positions, active in meetings.
They're more well-rounded students
so
potentially.
Make sure that you're doing things to help your application.
And get involved.
Get involved. That's important.
Great.
Because if you have, I do this, and this, and like, oh, so you're really involved. Like if you do community service hours, that looks good. You know, it's not all just about, oh, well, I made this ACT score and I don't ever skip class and this is my GPA. No, it's like, well, what else do you do besides school? Like,
well, another thing too with your volunteer experience, you need to tell us what you did.
yeah,
like it's great that you did volunteer at the Humane Society.
Right. What did you do?
Was that once?
Did you scoop poop? Did you
Was
walk
it-
the dogs?
And even if it is scoop poop, was it 20 hours every week?
Yeah.
Right.
Or because we want to make sure that yes, it's great that you're involved in the Humane Society, but did you make an impact?
Or did you just sit there and watch animals? Like,
Right.
One time and
One time for 2 hours so that you can pay beta convention. I mean, I love beta, but little things. Right.
So, if someone with a scholarship, would you reduce their financial aid package? And if so, would that scholarship replace loans or grants?
I mean, again, it's really individualized. It depends on the person and what their financial aid package is.
Right.
So let's say you have $10,000 as an example. You get $5,000 in Pell, $2,000 in Kentucky State grants, $3,000 in loans. You maxed out because your cost of attendance is $10,000. So they would probably push something out and push your scholarship in. So that's the thing you also communicate with. Hey, I have this scholarship. I want to reduce my loans so that I don't have to pay those back. And so it's important that we communicate with financial aid. I have this. How will it affect me? It's like I got a scholarship and I didn't report it to my institution because they gave me a check. And so is that legal? I don't know, but I did it. But I bought school supplies. I bought bedding. I bought a TV. I got a microwave, refrigerator for my residence hall room. And so that was helpful because if I had gone on my financial aid account, they would have reduced something.
right.
So,
To also piggyback on that, if you have an outside scholarship, then that information goes to the business office, from my understanding, not to financial aid, which I know sometimes is confusing. What goes to business and what goes to the financial aid office, because they have two completely different functions. So if you have a scholarship from like the Rotary Club, it's something that does not have to report to ECTC. So like Kia reports to ECTC, but your local Rotary does not. Your mom's job does not. So if it's an outside scholarship, make sure to report it for ECTC, the business office. Every college kind of functions and it has different names. There's bursars, there's business, there's the whole financial aid, and then they differ. But
so last little thing I want to talk about is just like a little bit on student loans. So how do you apply for a student loan? Like, because I don't even know how to apply for a student loan, and I thought it was going to take time. So I was like,
Real fast.
yes.
Because that's where we want those monies. So you log into your student self-service account, and then you're going to go to My Path, choose self-service, you see the financial aid.com, you click on that, and then on the left side, I believe it says request a loan. And so you'll click that on there, and then you'll put in, I believe you put in the amount you want to you're eligible for, but just know if it's in the fall that you're requesting your loan. So I need $5,000 for the fall. You're not going to need $5,000 for ECTC. But by chance, you might at Western, UK, or UL, or another four-year institution. That $5,000 that you thought was going to be your bill for the fall is actually not, because they're going to split that loan over your fall semester and your spring semester. You're going to have $2,500 to work with for that. But then also know there's also some contribution fees that come out of that. And so it's important that you, if you do need a loan, that you have a little buffer note or something that you can pay the rest of your bill with. And so each institution is different. I know when I worked at UL, a lot of people had issues because they transferred in where they previously were, and I won't mention it. They maxed them out on their financial aid, and so you can run out of loan money.
Yes.
There are caps for undergraduate and graduate. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what those numbers are. You can search it, or you can go to your financial aid department. But if you do max out your undergraduate loans, it does go up for graduate level school. So like just because you max out your undergrad doesn't mean that you're done for the rest of your life. And so USCS can help you with that. Financial aid department here on campus can help you with that. Sure, FYA can help you with that. Your advisor. But most of that stuff for ECTC is done through your student social account.
Yes.
So how much debt would you assume that students have when they graduate? If you have what percent of students do you think graduate with debt?
That's a hard question. Again, I think it's very individual.
Yeah.
So I graduated with $48,000 from student loans. I'm 35 and I'm still paying on it. And again, I just took it out because when I didn't want to work when I was I had a work study position, but again, I owed a bill, so 80% of my work study check went to pay my bill. So I only got 20% of that, which was okay. I did other odds and ends things on campus to make some more money. But again, I just took out the loans. One, I didn't know, and I had never seen that large of a check before. I was like, ooh, this is nice. And now at 35, I'm like, that wasn't nice. What am I doing? Because if you look at my monthly finances, fourth of my monthly finances go back to paying student loans. And so I'm moderately paid well for what I do, I would think. But still, if you take out that much money, it's a lot. And you're not paying just one thing. I pay three different vendors. I pay my college for one type of loan, and then I have two different types of loans. So I'm paying them twice a month. And so that's the important thing. You need to be organized with your loans to make sure who's coming from what is that, where's it coming from. I think it depends on the institution and the price of it. I think there was a study by UK that said 60% of people who graduate will have some type of debt. And so that was 2000.
I feel like it would be different though, because I feel like the percentage would be higher for more expensive colleges.
It depends.
The amount.
Scholarship pool.
Yeah.
And and also what are you eligible for? So for example, I went to USA College, small private liberal arts institution in Owensboro. They have different pools of money that you can get. So like I did my FAFSA. And so public schools, you have your Pell Grant, that's for everybody. And then public schools get CAP grant. There's also the Kentucky Tuition Grant, which is for private schools only.
Yeah.
And so my brother's supposedly going to Wesleyan in the fall. So he gets Pell Grant, he gets CAP grant, and then he also gets the tuition grant, which helps offset the cost. So it just depends on endowments for schools. And so you really have to sit down, look, and this is important, request financial aid packages from the schools so that you have something in writing so that create an Excel sheet that says the cost of tuition, cost of fees, do I have to pay for parking, what are all the other fees that I need, and get a total. And then subtract the financial aid package from that total. I'm going to have to pay $20 out of pocket if I go to University A. However, if I go to University B, I'll only pay $5,000 out of pocket.
Or if I go to community college C,
right.
I don't have to pay anything.
You have to pay
Potentially.
Right. And so there's a stigma to go into a community college. Like when I went to Central Hardin, and so go Bruins. But I had the stigma of I'm not going to the community college because that's just not for me.
Well, it's like in the high school, I went to Grayson County, go whatever. But Grayson County, don't you? But they would talk about, it would be like some of the upperclassmen would be like community colleges for poor people,
which is inaccurate.
They're like only nasty poor people go there. And I'm like,
it's actually smart people who go there because they're not pulling in loans for the rest of their life.
Right.
And grown Jeremy is young Jeremy is stupid.
Yes.
Which he was. Because I can tell one story for why I chose the college I went to, but I won't. But I let social groups and social things really hinder my actual thought. I'm kind of a smart person, I think. Sometimes.
it's like when I went to Western. It's like, university experience as well. I was like, I don't do Greek life because
you should. It was great.
Yeah, you absolutely should.
It was sketchy at Western. Okay,
I mean,
Western was very sketchy about that.
Greek life is fantastic.
It is absolutely.
It personally,
It is a personal preference.
Yes.
And that's important because some people see it as I'm paying for friends, but you're not.
Really
This
not.
is important as well. So 4 years of college, I got over $5,000 in scholarships from my fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
So it more people say, "Oh, you're paying for friends." Actually, I'm not. They paid me.
Right.
And also you get leadership development, you get opportunity for financial services. You get a group of friends that have the same kind of motto or want to do the same things. Like our big thing is service. We want the Greek Community Service Award every year because that's what we do. We serve our community. Looks great on a resume.
It's a huge network for later on in life or even now. And to even kind of piggyback on community college and a social life. So that is I don't want to say a barrier, but an issue that some students have is that they want the university experience. You can still have some of that. I know ECTC doesn't have dorms or anything, but there are student activities that you can get involved in. There's Phi Theta Kappa, so if you want a type of fraternal-ish experience, I mean, it is an academic, fraternity, but Phi Theta Kappa, you have to be invited because you have a really high GPA. I mean, and that is a lifetime national organization. You should. I mean, there's a fee, but
I didn't know what it was. I was like, let's Phi Theta Kappa.
Honey, Kevin Perry, talk to Kevin. But seriously, when you think about your future, which some people aren't forward thinking, when you're 18, you're not thinking about when you're 30. You're not even thinking when you're 25. But joining organizations that can help get you a network of people that want to see you succeed is invaluable. Those are some things that we can't teach, that will never be taught. It's all about experience. Getting involved on campus, whether it's the FYE club or whether it is Phi Theta Kappa or the Optimist Club or whatever we offer that is of interest to you. You can also start a club if you want to. And we've had several clubs that have been started by students because they're like, we want this. There's other students who want this too. And so here we are. I was also going somewhere else with something that Jeremy said as it relates to, darn it, I missed it. And I should have just interrupted you when I had to thought.
I mean, that's about right.
But yes, get involved and
the average member gets $2,500 a year. I literally read it because like this is spam memo that we're held at.
Oh,
Phi Theta Kappa. Like, can't do it, whatever.
No, yeah, you should.
I literally just scrolled down and read this. It's like, wow.
We have a student, I think, won a national award.
What's her name? Yeah, her. Okay, got it.
And so, I mean, that's a big thing. Like, I won a national award through my fraternity. And so those are like, college is about building your resume and your knowledge.
It is definitely.
We're trying to get a job. That's what we're here for. And so when, like someone told me in college, I was just running for an office because I put on my resume. Yeah, right. Because I'm trying to build myself up so that I can be the first choice for the job that I want. And so that's you need to find opportunities. And again, I get life happens. If you have family, children, there's not as much time to do things.
Yeah,
but still find one or two things that you really invest some time in because people look at that. Like me and Sean Pay a lot of times on committees to hire people, and we have a lot of the same thoughts. Like we want people who are involved and are going to do a good job.
Absolutely.
Like if you have a typo on your resume, like that's a problem. And so
we're sticklers for things.
We are. And so it's important that with college and life that you organize, you have somebody looking over your stuff, and also like a supporter, like someone that's got your back and like, you got this. And I think that's what Grant Wing is, because they call it. I think that's what we're here for.
Well, I believe that is all we have time for with Shante and Jeremy. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we will have me speaking about the Work Ready program, not the Ready to Work. So
Right.
thank you all, and we will be back.
Go Barons.
Woo.